Good morning, beautiful people. Thank you again for visiting my channel, my Teacher Voice. I have a magnificent day planned for you guys. Today I am going with Tar Heel teachers to see the state superintendent. They're holding an event in Red Springs, North Carolina at Unity Church. They are doing a praise and worship service, and they're hosting a luncheon for educators in the area. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait for you guys to see what I have in store for you all. You get to see some of our conversation to and from the event in the car. You'll be able to hear for yourself Dr. Atkinson speak and just find out why educators in North Carolina really love her and appreciate her work and her service. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy, and make sure that you like and subscribe. Good morning, beautiful people. We are in the car. It's a lot of us in here. Say good morning.
Road trip. Good morning. Good morning.
And we have our Tar Heel teacher shirts on because we are going to an event with our state superintendent, Dr. June. He is trying to kill us, like, for real. I couldn't even hold the camera, okay? He just busted a Huey. Anyway, we're going to an event with our state superintendent, Dr. June Atkinson, and it is a praise and worship service.
It is.
At which church?
It's at Trinity United Methodist in Red Springs. So we're on our way to Robinson County,
North Carolina. Woo! In case you're watching from afar, we're in North Carolina. And then afterwards, we are having a luncheon. So in the car with me, we have 3 members of the Tar Heel Teachers cast, and then we have a friend visiting, and we have a daughter. She's an honorary member of our cast.
Absolutely.
So you already know me. I am Arisha Smalls, and this is Marlo Artis.
I'm driving.
He is the creative director and brain behind Tar Heel Teachers. And then we have our EC specialist. Where are you, girl?
Hello.
Cassandra Parsons.
That's me.
And her best friend from New Mexico.
Yes. Karen Orgain.
Yes, and she is a retired kindergarten teacher. She put 34 long years in.
Isn't that great?
Give it up. Give it up to God, because can't do it without him.
That's right.
And her beautiful daughter, Sydney. And Sydney normally holds the camera for us and takes pictures at our events, but
Training her.
yes, we're training her up in the way she should go. And when she is old, she shall not depart from it.
That's right.
All right, we'll check in with you guys later. Bye.
Bye. Did you enjoy the pasta?
Hey, you guys.
On our way to church. In the church.
We're on our way in the church. I'm going to turn around so you guys can see we're at Trinity United Methodist Church. It's a beautiful building.
Good morning. How are you?
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Since forever.
I know.
So we joined forces on that, and great things came from that, and I don't even know how many thousands of lives were impacted by that, but we began with 8 elementary schools where each child pre-K through 5th grade received 5 books, new or gently used books that helped them to read during the summer, to limit the learning loss. Many of you understand that. And but it wasn't just those, I don't know how many, 5,000 to 6,000 kids, but then their siblings and their parents and their families were impacted by that. All because someone had this vision of, you know, here's an obstacle among children. What if we work together to clear that? So we grew to know each other through this partnership, working to remove obstacles that lay between children, and growing into the fullness of who they were created to be. And that's how I first met June, and still today that's who I see when I see her. And I'm going to say, so you don't have to. Now you guys, you watch the news too, and sometimes you get riled up and mad and angry from June, not on TV, but here among you as your friend. And I believe you're going to see in her what I've seen in her. So this is someone I am proud to call friend and proud to have with us this morning. So June, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Wilman. What a pleasure it is to be here at this Methodist church. And as far back as I can remember, church has been a part of my life. I grew up in rural Bedford County, Virginia, and we had a circuit of churches. There was Mount View Baptist Church, there was Glade Creek Baptist Church, there was Montvale Baptist Church, and there was Shady Grove Baptist Church. And so family members and I went to those churches. And as I look at the size of this church, this is about twice as big as any of those churches in Bedford County, Virginia. But one of my first memories as a little girl was when I went to vacation Bible school at one of the churches. And I remember saying my piece that I had in the program. And then after I finished saying my piece, I said, "Daddy, could you hear me in the back?" And then I think of going to Montvale Baptist Church as a little girl, being in the Christmas pageant. And I still remember what I said. I said, "I'm really just a wee little girl, and big words I can't say, but I can wish you all a Merry Christmas Day." And the people laughed. And I went back into one of the Sunday school rooms and was crying when my mama came back. And I said, "Mama, they didn't think I did a very good job, did they?" And she said, "No, honey, they liked you and they thought you did a great job." And that was one of the times that I learned how just a few words will make a difference to children. Because it made a difference to me when my mama told me that, because that helped me gain confidence when I felt insecure. And then I think of moving to Cary, North Carolina from Charlotte, and I was visiting different churches because, you know, I had gone to a Baptist church my entire life. And so I decided to stop at Cary First United Methodist Church, and I visited that church and I really liked it, and so I decided to join that church. And so I called my aunt who lives in Virginia and I said, "Aunt Alma, I joined the First United Methodist Church in Cary today." And with all sincerity, she said, "I thought Cary was big enough to have a Baptist church." But I had been a long-time member of the First United Methodist Church in Cary. And the second part of my life that has been constant over time is that of education. I had a grandmother, Nora Bell Dooley was her name, and Nora Bell Dooley taught Sunday school for 50 years. Nora Bell Dooley really wanted to be a teacher, but her family did not have enough money for her to go to college to become a teacher. And so through the influence of my grandmother, Nora Bell, I developed a love for education and a love of learning. And as I travel throughout North Carolina and see teachers and principals and social workers and bus drivers and cafeteria workers, I also see a love not only of helping children, but a love of making a difference in the lives of people throughout our great state. And so every day I think of the 1.5 million children we have in our state, 100,000 teachers and educators that we have in our state. And I recognize that it is difficult to teach. It is rocket science. And so for those of us who work as principals, assistant principals, we need your prayers, we need your thoughts to help us to continue to do the work that I consider of the Lord. And the third thing that has been constant in my life, in addition to education, the church, has been my faith. I accepted Christ when I was 11 years old. I was baptized in Glade Creek Baptist Church, one of those country streams in Bonnetide County. And even though I am very grateful that I have accepted Christ, and I know that through my life I'm also very grateful for God's forgiveness. because we all need God's forgiveness as we try to do our best and we fail. So we need His help. So today I come to you as a fellow Christian. I come to you as a fellow educator. And I come to you as a sister to the brothers and sisters in this congregation and for those of you who are visiting, to ask for your continued prayers for our children. Today we have more children living in poverty than ever before. We have children who are facing stresses that I could not imagine when I was growing up. And we have children who are excelling and who are bright and who are light years or leap years ahead of other children. We have all types of children in our schools, and each child is very special. And so we as communities, we as educators, have to surround our children with our arms, with our hearts, with our minds, and with our prayers. So thank you, Reverend Wellborn, for allowing me to speak briefly to the congregation today. And would all of our people gathered here today who are educators, who have been educators, would you please stand so the rest of us can thank you for the work you have done.
And I am so grateful. So when I say thank you, I mean it. Now, Ms. Smalls, I'm going to put you out there, teaches at New Century International Middle School. And I don't know what your email address is. It's like A Smalls. Arisha Smalls at, and you know how it works. Each county has, ccs.k12.nc.us. So I'm just going to throw her out there for you. If you want somebody with classroom management, reaching kids, what do you do when you get frustrated and life's crowded in on you as a teacher? Video. So, you're out there, right? And I bet you they could probably contact me if they want to, couldn't they? All right, yeah, now you're putting a spotlight. Yeah. So, so I want to lift up I'm not just blowing smoke, and I'm not just telling you I'm thankful because it's that day. Friends, I'm thankful. And I know this congregation is thankful. And you need to hear that. So, if you don't mind receiving on behalf of everybody else, can I just say thank you? Thank you. Sit here for a moment. That's not scary at all, right?
And what do we tell kids? Be good when nobody's looking.
And the teachers are the examples.
You're supposed to get caught being good. You're breaking the rules.
Do as I say, not as I do.
And at church, too. I hope this doesn't come out wrong. So, like, I love hymnals. Like, I love hymns because the words are right there. But I don't like singing them with people. I just like looking at them at home. Like, my grandmother had this old hymnal, and I like going through trying to figure out how the song goes, but I don't like singing them with people because I'm always off. I'm never, well, I can't sing anyway,
Well,
y'all.
the Bible doesn't say that you have to sing in tune. It says make a joyful noise.
Yeah, but mine sounds like a pain, If you saw my last video, you heard my singing voice. It ain't all that, okay?
I used to say some are canaries and some are crows, and I have something to crow about.
Some are canaries and some are crows.
I have something to crow about. I'm not that great of a singer, so I might do a caw, but you know.
But we did like 3 or 4 hymns today, and I was like, oh yeah, I love hymnal books. But I was, and I was seated next to Dr. Atkinson, and she can sing, and I was trying to sing under my breath because I couldn't keep up with her.
What about the organ? I love organ.
Oh yeah, that pipe organ was beautiful.
That was so pretty.
Yeah.
And the stained glass windows.
Oh yes.
It's a beautiful church.
Even like the decoration that was on the ceiling, you know, that you pointed out when we first got there.
Yeah, you know me and my artist, I'm gonna look at everything that has any.
Hey, but y'all know who was y'all know who was going in on the hymn. Is that you too?
Yes.
Well,
Marlo was going in with all his extra runs and everything.
I had to sing it like I normally would.
There you go. I'm with you, Marlo.
I had to sing the way that I normally sing.
What was the song that we all knew? And I saw
Blessed assurance.
Oh, blessed assurance, yeah.
Favorite. Oh, okay.
So Pastor Brian has suggested that we take a tour of downtown Red Springs. He said that there used to be a college here, and there were some grand houses, and then there
Where the professors live.
where professors used to live, so old professor homes.
Reach, there's the sign. Get the sign.
So the college that was here was, let me see if I can zoom in,
St. Andrew's College.
was Flora McDonald College, Presbyterian, founded 1896 and closed in 1961. And it merged to create St. Andrew's College, was located 1 mile east of where we are right now. So the pastor has recommended that we take a small tour of Red Springs, North Carolina, to take in the history and the sights and be enlightened.
You should know which way we're going.
He said this is the strip, and I think we're supposed to make a left on Main Street.
Okay.
I think.
Do we want to go by the schools?
Oh, sure. We can go by the schools.
Is that right?
Okay, so we just turned off. Let me turn the camera around. So we're trying to follow GPS.
We're trying to find
Red
Red Springs Middle School. We already
Yeah.
found the high school. Now the GPS is taking us down this dirt road. With,
Yeah, look, you guys. This is where
on
the
a real
GPS
life
took us.
dirt road.
Look, unlined road.
This is a real life dirt road.
Ooh, like wrong turn.
It's like with a bumpy
Oh
road.
wow, I can't even hold the camera.
Oh gosh. If we're not in the right
I
place.
can. This whole time I thought you were like from the country. You not, because
I am
everybody
from the
knows you
country.
can't drive that fast on a dirt road.
I am from the country.
No, because you don't know how to drive on a dirt road.
Vehicle that you can drive. You know, people from the country drive fast on dirt roads. They don't care.
I
This
have
is
a
not
Jeep.
even creepy because you can see a real road up there.
It's not creepy, but it still wasn't what I was
It's
expecting
Daylight.
today.
That's why it's not
Look where we are.
Exactly. If this was at night.
Huh?
Is this what is it, soy?
What?
Soybeans?
Yeah.
It
It's
looks like
greenery.
soybeans.
They're growing something.
Greenery.
No.
I think that's soybeans.
It's baby tobacco.
I think it's soybeans.
It's baby tobacco. It's not fully grown yet.
I think there was another way for us to get to the middle school.
No, I don't know what it is. Why y'all ask me? Y'all know I don't know what that is.
Brothers and folks that smoke it.
I teach reading,
I really think there was another
not
way for us to get there.
horticulture. Is that what it is? Botany. Ooh, this was exciting, but I wish it was in the woods.
In the woods. Community orange.
Let's talk about the service. Let's talk about the service. So,
Arisha,
huh?
with an element of surprise.
Oh.
You look like you were The Price is Right. When they said, Arisha, would you come up here? She went like this, Marlo.
No, because first of all, because I was writing down something that he had said, and I think it was something about our schools, like to him, schools are holy ground.
Right.
And I was writing that down, and then he called me out, which I was like, oh, okay. He said my name.
So the pastor was
So-
actually one of your parents, right?
Yes. The pastor was one of my parents. But I was like, okay, fine with him calling my name. But he said, oh, she's going to get me. And I'm like, oh, snap. Get you because what? Like, what's going on? So So I was very shocked that I was called down. And I think I felt like the kids feel, y'all. Like in class when we just calling them and they didn't raise their hand.
That's why
There's the middle school.
Oh, all right, time out from the conversation. We found the middle
You're
school.
supposed to warn them, Marisha.
It sure is the middle school right now.
Okay, Red Springs Middle School.
Is this part of the
That
middle
says
school?
Red
This
Springs
must
High
be.
School.
See, it's two.
That must-
It's 2 in 1. It's the high school and the middle school.
No, I think that this used to be the high school, but now it's the middle school, and the other one is. So maybe they just left it for historical reason.
Wait, is it down this road?
And that's where the principal lived right here.
The principal live beside the school?
No, I'm just.
Oh.
Oh, we're all
Wait,
buying it.
Wait, do we think this is the middle school or the high school?
I think this is.
middle school.
I feel like this is the
Marlo,
middle
I thought this
school.
was the church that we were missing when I said that it looks like a church down there.
Oh,
Because it was red right above.
speed bump.
So that was the middle school, but it said high school on it. And that's not the same building that we just saw.
No, but I think that maybe it said high school for historical reasons. Like
Okay.
maybe that was the original high school, but they outgrew it, so now it's a middle school.
Okay. That makes sense.
But back to what I was saying, I felt like not embarrassed, but like I didn't know what
Just
to
caught off
do.
guard.
Yeah, and I bet that's how kids feel when we call on them and they didn't raise their hand.
That's why you
Wait, there's a school right there, y'all.
That's another school.
No, that's the
high
that's the
school.
high school.
So the middle school is in back of the high
The
school.
back of the high
So,
school.
Yeah.
Arisha, can I give you a strategy?
Okay.
Sure.
So when you're presenting or teaching a lesson and you know that you want students to answer a question, a good strategy is to name 3 students. I'm going to call on you first, you second, you third. Then that way they won't be surprised. So you go ahead and do your little spiel or your speech, and then you pose your question. Give wait time, then call on them.
Okay.
That's a tip for the day.
Thank you for that tip.
You're welcome.
But what about the other kids that you didn't call on? So like, if you didn't give them a warning, does that mean you don't call on them?
No, it doesn't mean that because you know your class. Remember, we always talked about
So
knowing
you-
your audience.
So you mean
So
like the
there's-
ones who need a warning, give them the
right,
warning?
'cause
Yeah.
you want everybody to participate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
the
to
ones
do
that you
that.
know are more reluctant, you go ahead and give them warning.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So you won't catch them off guard. You give them warning, and the ones that you know are more confident, that the ones that answer the questions all the time.
Time out. Marlo again is trying to kill us in this car.
Your camera was in my way, and I
Oh, now it's my
couldn't
fault.
see.
Now it's my fault.
I couldn't see if the car was as close, and then there was motorcycles. I didn't want to hit the
Now
motorcycles.
it's my fault. Now it's my
Okay,
fault.
let's get back to the topic.
Okay.
So
I'm just the help.
one thing that I used to do, on going on what Cassandra said, I would just go up to the student, like, okay, if Arisha's talking, and then I would go up to Cassandra next and say, privately and say, Cassandra, I'm going to call on you next. Just so that gives them that warning
Right.
as well.
And then you can also do your formative assessment, so you kind of know the students that know something about the subject and are willing to share. So
Okay.
just sometime a little warning helps
Yeah.
the students that are reluctant to be involved in conversation, but they want to.
Yeah.
Arisha is what we call, and not old head, but she is a seasoned teacher. So really, she wasn't
called
caught.
me
That was
old
just
head.
an act. When she went, really?
Yeah, it was just
That was an act.
No, that was sincere. Like I was like, for real, I gotta come up there.
I'm teasing because my heart beat when you did that. So
No, but you know what would have been nice if he would have said, "Now we're gonna take up a love offering."
I thought she was getting something.
I thought you were going to get a presentation.
Now we're gonna take up a love offering.
But it was nice that when we first even came up on the church grounds, some of Arisha's students were there. And did you know the student that this was their church? Or that they
I
were gonna be
didn't. I
present?
knew that their parents were pastors, but I did not know that that was their church. And I also didn't realize that this was the same event that I was invited to. So whenever you said, "How do we know about it?" I didn't mention that email because I didn't realize it was the same event until I saw the kids.
So we're gonna go.
So quite a few people were very
To that
excited.
event that they invited you
It was this
This was the event.
to. I know, but were you already going beside that?
No, because I had said yes to go on Tar Heel Teachers. So I was like, no, I wasn't going to go to that one because I thought I was going to be double booked, but it was one and the same. So it worked
Especially
out.
if with the students being in Fayetteville, you probably
Yeah.
just thought that their event was in Fayetteville too.
Yeah, but their parents are really nice, and they're very active. They come to everything at the school.
Okay. And I'm sorry, sorry.
Go ahead.
And their reaction when they saw her pays tribute to what a fantastic teacher she is.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, the other thing that I noticed was I liked the idea when they called the students up to the front.
Oh yeah, the
Because
kids.
sometimes we need to remove the students. There's a barrier. The desk can be a barrier. So I think sometimes pulling them in close proximity and being able to talk to them more on a personal level builds what, Marlo?
Relationships. That's
Yeah.
Cassandra's favorite word.
You can't let go of that. I mean, that is the driving force to a school environment and the culture that we're trying to build. It's built on relationships with the community.
Right.
But this was a good example of what building relationships can do, because he's saying that he knew Dr. Atkinson, way back when,
Right.
and that because they both had similar goals and were trying to do work for children, that's how they met and they bonded on
Right.
that level. And because of that relationship, he was able to invite her personally to a worship service. And I think the whole idea, the whole concept was good, and I think it was effective too.
It was great to see teachers from all over this region and this area, and Dr. Atkinson was glad to see us, and she remembered us, and I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, like when else would you be able to sit down with your state superintendent and just say whatever it is that you want to say? Like,
Then inquired about our next.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, she wanted to know when we were doing our next episode of Tar Heel Teachers.
For those of you who don't know, probably don't know because I never mentioned it on the show before, but I will leave a link down below in the description box to our town hall meeting. A few months ago, Tar Heel Teachers invited Dr. Atkinson to a town hall meeting in Bladen County, and we had schools from that particular area and others. We had their school board showed up. We also had
The superintendent, Dr. Taylor.
their superintendent showed up, and it was just open forum. We interviewed her. We talked about some topics that were in the news, and then some parents were able to come up and ask some questions that were on their hearts. And she remembered that, and she said that she was so glad to see us, and asked about our next event, which we're excited about because we're just growing more and more each day with each event, and getting our name out there and advocating for kids. So.
And I enjoyed just having a chance to have lunch, not only with Dr. Atkinson, but the other educators, and hear about their experiences.
And lunch was
That
good.
It was delicious.
They said it was a dairy farm. No, not dairy farm. Dairy bar. Dairy bar. Shout out Dairy Bars. Red Springs, North Carolina.
And
The barbecue is good.
let me share something with you. My friend Karen from New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
When I first came to North Carolina, when we asked for barbecue in New Mexico, we're expecting meat on a bone.
Barbecue chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Just meat on a bone, ribs, barbecue
Yeah.
chicken, whatever. So when I got a bun, somebody asked if I wanted barbecue, and I said yes. I got a bun with some chopped pork barbecue and coleslaw.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what it was. And I was telling my friend, I said, I said, what do we get in New Mexico when we're asking for barbecue? And she says,
Meat on the bone.
meat on the
Unless it's
bone.
pulled
Meat on the bone.
Unless it's pulled pork. So
But that's what we call, we say pulled pork in some places, but when you say barbecue, we expect pulled pork.
I never heard pulled pork. My parents may have, but I haven't.
So was this your first time having it?
No, it wasn't my first time.
I mean, Miss Karen, was it your first time? Oh, okay. So you knew what was going on today.
Yes.
Oh.
But it was the first time I had it without barbecue sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Normally
It's like a
pulled pork has
vinegary.
barbecue sauce?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it has like a vinegary.
It's
I don't
vinegar
know.
based.
Yeah, vinegar base. Well, there's your down south soul food. Yes. What would you like to say?
I want to congratulate you all on having an administrator that is not ashamed of her relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
Because she said that she was a Christian, and and I feel like anyone that expresses that openly and says that is one of the things that has helped her to be the person that she is, then if you put God first, then everything else is going to fall into place.
That's right.
And I just want to give a shout out to North Carolina.
Yes. Yes.
It was great seeing Dr. Atkinson speak and speak from the heart and talk about her relationship with God and just what it means to her in her work. And she said that being an educator is a calling from God, and I thought that was really great because I see it the same way.
Right, I do too.
Yeah, it is. It's a work of the heart, and everything you do, you're leading by example, which is what Pastor Wellborn was talking about. We can't go into our classrooms and preach, you know, God this and God that, but He lives in us, and people should be able to see Him in us through our everyday actions and how we carry ourselves, how we interact with people. And that's what the kids are going to pick up on. And back to what Cassandra said about building relationships. Another thing that was really cool about today was there was a luncheon after the church service, and we were asked to not sit in the chairs that had pink paper on them because those were marked for Dr. Atkinson. So everybody just sat where they wanted to sit, and then for a few minutes she would come around to everybody's table and she would sit in the seat with the pink paper. And I thought that was cool because she was able to get personal time, one-on-one time with everybody who attended today.
I want to say something. I think it's very important that the viewers, everybody who's watching, that we vote for Dr. Atkinson for state superintendent, even if you're not a registered Democrat. I think you still should mark Dr. Atkinson's name on your ballot because Dr. Atkinson is very such an advocate for public education, and she really represents our state well.
Yeah.
So I just encourage everybody to vote for Dr. Atkinson, whether you are a member of her policy
She's
or
a
not.
people's person, yeah.
She's very, very approachable.
Yeah.